What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JP, back again with another video. And today, I have a phone that somebody in my last video actually requested, and I actually already had it on the way. And this video is actually, I'd say, a week and a half late. I've had it. I've been meaning to drop a video on it a week ago, really. But, because, at that point I had it for a few days and, I can have a few, straight out of the box impressions as I always do. But I'm going to get right into it. This is a very impressive phone. The Redmi K60 Ultra. It's also known as the K60 Extreme Edition in certain areas. This just came out, and it is powered by the Dimensity 9200 Plus processor, which is basically MediaTek's competitor to the quote unquote unofficially named Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 2, which other than the Galaxy devices, where it's called the Snapdragon the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy. It was found in the Red Magic 8S Pro. And you'd be surprised to know that this benchmarks pretty evenly with the Red Magic 8S Pro. And those that know that I was very impressed with that phone, as I was with the standard 8 Pro Red Magic, as I generally am with all of their phones. And MediaTek came with it. The Dimensity 9200 Plus is no slouch whatsoever. And before I get into it, this phone, the LTE, 5G, and voice over LTE works on AT&T and T-Mobile, at least in my area. It even gets 5G ultra capacity. On T-Mobile, it'll display 5G plus. And I think it did the same on AT&T as well, but don't hold me to that. And I will get into more depth of that processor here momentarily, but a rundown of the specs. It does have dual SIM. If I didn't already mention that, which I don't think I did. This phone is IP68 water and dust resistance, which is really nice. That may be a first for these line of phones, actually. It's a 6.67 inch, basically a 6.7 inch, as I say in pretty much all of my videos, OLED screen, with a 144 hertz refresh rate, Dolby Vision, and HDR10 plus. It does have a 2600 nit peak brightness. It gets very bright. That's right, brighter than the new iPhone 15 Pro. Of course, to actually get that peak brightness, you actually have you have to have the automatic brightness on. I saw, because if you do it manually and bring it all the way up, it's not going to get as bright. But that resolution, by the way, is as Xiaomi calls it, crystal res, where it's a 1220 by 2712 resolution. So it's kind of like a 1.5K display, in other words. Not quite 2K, but 1.5K. As I've talked about a few times in other videos, your Red Magic 8 Pro and Red Magic 8S Pro have something like that. Not quite as high, but it's enough to where it's considered 1.5K. But it does have Android 13 with MIUI 14 on top. Again, the MediaTek 9200 Plus is a 4nm chipset. It's octa-core. Its prime core is a 3.35 GHz Cortex X3, and then it has three 3 GHz Cortex A715s and four 2 GHz Cortex A510s, and of course the Immortalis G715 MC11 GPU that is capable of hardware ray tracing, which Apple recently made a big deal about. This model that I have is the 256 gigs internal with 16 gigs of RAM. The RAM can be extended via software by 10 more gigs, essentially giving you 26 gigs if that's something that you believe in. But physically, you can get this phone with up to 24 gigs of RAM. And of course, the 256 gigs of storage is UFS 4.0. The RAM is DDR5X technology. Let's see here. It does have stereo speakers. No 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. It does have Wi-Fi. It goes up to Wi-Fi 6E. I don't think it has Wi-Fi 7. I know the Red Magic 8S Pro did. And I don't know why I'm making that a comparison there, but it does. I do know it gets up to Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.4. Of course, it has your GPS. It has NFC. It even has your infrared port. It does have obviously it's Type C, which I'll go over that when I show you the body of the phone. There, the in-display fingerprint sensor, which works really good. Face unlock works really good. It does have an included 120 watt GAN charger, which I find kind of unique. They're not always GAN chargers, and it's 120 watts there, and really nice there actually. And the charging is blazing fast. It comes with the screen protector already pre-applied. It has your little gel, your little silicone case there. That those that know me know I actually like those because it still allows you to show the aesthetics of the phone. It's thin, and to me, it protects it enough. That's just my opinion, though. As far as the cameras go, it does have a 20 megapixel selfie camera that only does 1080p at 30, 60, and even 120 FPS. I choked up there for a minute there. So it's not, it doesn't do anything more than 1080, but it the fact that it can do 60 and even 120 FPS, that's really good actually. And of course it does do HDR. Now as far as the cameras in the back go, I'm going to show you the phone here right quick here. It is the green one here. It's really nice there. Sorry for some of the smudges there, y'all. That might be on the phone there or on the phone. It does have a plastic frame, but it feels metal. The only giveaway is that it doesn't have the antenna bands through it, so that's how you can kind of tell that it's not metal, but it feels metal. I mean, you'd never, unless you knew the thing about the antenna lines, you'd never know, honestly, but that's kind of a given. It is Gorilla Glass 5, I think, front and back, if I'm not mistaken, because it is a glass back. Or, well, actually, the back might be plastic as well there. But the camera sensors on this phone here are really good. They are, it's a triple setup with a 50 megapixel main with a 1.7 aperture. And it does have OIS. You also have an 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro. I know a lot of y'all will be happy about that ultra wide, and it does work really well, in my opinion. It's capable of 8K video at just 24 FPS, but it can do 4K up to 60 frames per sec, HDR10 plus, etc. Dual LED, dual tone flash, all that good stuff, and it's trying to think of more here to again the phone performs really well. It does seem to perform, in my opinion, up to par with something like the Red Magic 8S Pro. It does have its own cooling tech behind it. Of course, it doesn't have the fan and stuff like that. It's not advertised as a gaming phone. It depends who you ask, I guess, because I have seen some places actually advertise it as such. Depending on what material you read, sometimes even Redmi themselves or Xiaomi does. This phone is supposed to release globally as the Xiaomi 13T and the 13T Pro. There's not going to be a processor difference this time around like there usually is with the Ts. This time around, it's just simply going to be differences in the camera. I've read some articles that said that the K60 Ultra will actually be the 13T Pro, and that the standard 13T are going to have less capable cameras, but everything else the same processor, etc. But I've also read other material that said the opposite, that said that the K60 Ultra is actually the Xiaomi 13T, and that the 13T Pro is going to come out with even better cameras. Again, I've read articles that pretty much contradict one another. So this is either going to materialize globally as the Xiaomi 13T or the Xiaomi 13T Pro. So, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. It is September 19th. So they are supposed to announce the 13T globally at the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken. So we still got another, week and a half, give or take, to really find out, what it is or what it's not. But that's that. It's snappy, of course, typical flagship Xiaomi phone, really. Of course, it is a Chinese version, so you do have certain disadvantages. As far as things like Android Auto, etc. You have to. It does have the ability to install Google on it easily, no hacking. You just have to enable it through the settings and then side load it, which I've gone over before. So it's gotten easier. It's just still not as easy as it would be if it was just built in the whole suite, not just the ability to enable it and then download it manually. But of course, that's what your global variant will be for. We'll see whether or not I get that. This it's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. Tried to keep it short and sweet. Ran down the specs, and y'all let me know what y'all think. And I'll see y'all in the next video. I got another good one coming up. Peace out.